This video will introduce you to Stratum.Viewer terminology, in particular with the names of the basic things you'll see when working with data in Stratum.Viewer. The terms we'll cover are views, levels, members, attribute relationships, measure items, and time ranges. Views are the core of Stratum.Viewer. They're predefined reports that display your data in rows and columns. The area outlined in this example represents a view and its toolbar of icons, which control basic functionality in the view. You may also hear views referred to as grids, reports, or view definitions. Here are the view's rows and its columns. They contain the different parts of your data, which consist of levels, members, and measure items. Together, those parts determine the type of data displayed in a view and how the data is arranged. Levels are predefined summarizations of your company's data. They give users the ability to analyze data in many different ways. In this example, there are 3 levels visible on the rows. They are Distribution Center Warehouse, Sales Director, and Product Family. The levels that show up in your views will be based on your company's unique data and how your administrator sets up that data for use in Stratum.Viewer. You might not have a distribution center warehouse level, for example. Maybe you have a shipping center level instead. Levels have members and attribute relationships, and they too will be unique to your data and Stratum.Viewer implementation. Members are the individual pieces of information within a level, also known as the detailed data. For example, the individual warehouses in this distribution center warehouse level. Members can be used for filtering or sorting in views. Members can be displayed by their value and/or by an attribute relationship. The highlighted areas in this view represent the values for members of the warehouse, sales director, and product family levels. There are attribute relationships showing for each member in this example. Attribute relationships provide supplementary descriptive information about level members. The attributes in this example are the Distribution Center Warehouse Contact, Sales Director Long Description, and the Product Family Long Description. Attribute relationships can be used for filtering or sorting in views, building expressions for data calculations, and narrowing down the type of data that displays in a number of Stratum.Viewer windows. Next, let's look at the measure items in this view. Measure items represent the user-defined data available in your Stratum.Viewer implementation, such as sales, budget, forecast, or inventory data. Measure items are dynamic in that their values adjust to match the current data available for your company. The measure items in this view are sales units, sales amount, handling cost, freight cost, and standard cost. The types of measure items you see will be unique to your company's business and data. For example, you might not have cost-related measure items, but you may have accounts receivable measure items. You might also see measure items that perform calculations in your views. For example, a standard cost, percent of total, or average selling price calculation. The measure items we're looking at have to and from time ranges associated with them. A time range controls the slices of time for which each measure item will display in a view. Time range information displays in the captions of measure items. Each measure item in a view can have its own unique time range. These measure items are all for the same period of January through September of 2012. You can adjust time ranges to look at shorter or longer periods, from 1 day on up to multiple years. The time periods available to work with are determined by how your company defines its time. For example, by fiscal quarters, weeks, or days. Some views do not have time ranges associated with their measure items. In that case, you might see a special type of level known as a time level in the view. The time level will determine the slices of time for which data displays in the view. In this example, time is defined by 2 levels in rows. The year and weeks level combined with a filter on the weeks level cause the past 12 weeks of sales and cost data to display in this view. This concludes our introduction to Stratum.Viewer terminology.